come into play. Because what's going to happen, I think, is eventually these premium heroes are going to keep getting picked, and then people are going to eventually find out the counters to them, and they're going to realize there's just better heroes in the pool over time. So I think teams are going to play what they've been practicing more than they're going to play what might necessarily be slightly better, because if you've played the hero 20 times in the last month, you're going to play it better than any hero in the game that you've played only once. So Phoenix, I think, still does its job in the game. It's just a laning stage issue is the only thing you're looking at now. They've nerfed Phoenix's laning stage like 3 or 4 patches in a row now. Eventually, it's going to be enough.
It's like one of those things where fundamentally they're still checking the same boxes inside of the game, so it still makes sense. Let's talk about, though, what we got kind of thrown together on the side of VP, because Wisp obviously has been one of the heroes that we've needed to pay the most attention to today, and I think we're probably going to end up paying the most attention to tomorrow as well, but I wouldn't necessarily put Abaddon inside of those ranks, so why are we seeing that in the first phase?
Specifically with Wisp, right? It's almost certainly being a Wisp carry with the Abaddon support.
Most likely, yeah. We've seen more and more of this. They're shifting towards that position 1. A good ban coming out from Team Nigma. They have Phoenix and Undying, so they need to ban out Gyro. It's just that strong of a hero against both of these. And this is huge amount of sustain coming out from Virtus.pro. Overcharge, Abaddon providing shield and heal. Like, I don't think you can pick something like AA on side of Nigma. You are very locked in. Like, you might push Phoenix towards position, let's say 3 probably, but then you still need something to control these heroes. You have Phoenix to buy a Spirit Vessel possible this game against the IO, but
Abaddon
makes it really bad to play into.
I think the lineup for Virtus.pro so far is just screaming, hey, we're going to throw all of our stuff on one guy. Gyro and Troll are super good to enable that, because oftentimes the problems these heroes have is they don't want to get initiated onto because they could just get bursted full to 0, or in general, like, standing their ground is the one issue they really have. So giving them the IO Abaddon behind really makes sense. Like, if you're envisioning how they end the game, Troll and Gyro are great high ground siegers, just base pushers in general when you have backliners like the Abaddon and IO. And even though IO, we talked about it being a carry with the Abaddon, you could absolutely make IO a 4 or Abaddon a 3. You have options. IO could be a mid. We've also seen like IO carry 2-position Gyro, where in the laning stage it pairs with the Abaddon, and then later on you're tethered with 2 cores. I like the overall approach that both teams are taking so far. With the IO Abaddon, you either need a hero that just basically kills everybody at once, so the one target can't be preserved, which is in this case Spectre, or other heroes that just take long, sustained fights that eventually wear you down, and Morphling Void do make sense for that description. I would come up with Slark being another one, Anti-Mage.
Or Virtus.pro?
No, for Team Nigma, because they lack mobility and stuns with their 2 supports right now, or at least 2 heroes. So I think it needs to come from their cores.
Both of these teams don't have any kind of stun right now, so it's very easy to sneak in something like a Slark. Looks like a good Slark game for both of these teams, I would say. There's still Ember Spirit's gone, possibly a good Void Spirit Storm game. Like, Team Nigma needs to pick something that protects the Axe, something like an Axe, but then again, if you in the laning stage against the Abaddon, you can just purge off the Fire Spirits, depending what the role is Abaddon gonna play in this one. Yeah. But you need low cooldown ability that,
I think
just controls the team fight.
Way too good for Virtus.pro right now against Undying Phoenix. I think if they're planning to put 1-position IO with 5 Abaddon, you can just do like Mirana Beastmaster as like a second round. Maybe not Beastmaster specifically, but I'm just thinking of like Mirana plus a setup stun. I just talk about Mirana because it kills the egg. It also, the Undying Tombstone, the zombies all go away when you go invis, so it's also nice for that. It kills the Tombstone. And also Moonlight Shadow is super good when the opponent's light on stuns, because it's just such a good disengage, and it's really important that they get some sort of disengage because of the Phoenix Egg as well as the Undying Tombstone. Once those abilities are used, and if Team Nigma doesn't win the fight in that case, or in that time period, then their heroes are much less scary, honestly.
Yup. Clock. Let's talk about why we actually do see that here. Does that start to fill any of those roles? Not necessarily something that I expected to see
Or
here.
Phoenix, maybe?
It's a possibility.
Clockwork.
Like, I would prefer... I mean, you don't see it yet, but Clockwork as a position 3, like, just for me at least, never stood out as a great hero. You do so much more from position 4. You can get the farm, and when you're playing him as a 3, you're missing from a lane, you know something's going on. So, also, you can... I mean, in this kind of scenario, if that's going to be Clockwork 3, position 4 Phoenix will be in that lane instead of Clockwork, so Clockwork will be playing from the fog most of the time, so you need a hero that's gonna get farm eventually, otherwise you're just gonna end up with like 2 position 4s and a position 5, which is not good.
And we'll talk for anyone who's just waking up right now, maybe missed some of the changes, we'll talk about how Clock actually did change, but when we do look at the Wind Ranger here, you're talking about Mirana obviously gets on top of the egg, and then also it does have extra game against some of the heroes in the lineup that Nigma is bringing. How do you feel the Wind Ranger does slot in?
It's basically a Mirana that's only really for herself, but she also sets up the ganks herself. So like Mirana would be better disengaged for the entire team, but would need another hero to actually set up the engagements, while Wind Ranger is good disengaged for herself, but then sets up the engagements alone. So it opens up their hero pool in the offlane a little bit more, which I don't mind. They do go the Beastmaster, so I thought it was going to be Beastmaster Mirana specifically, but they went for the Wind Ranger instead, more of an independent support in that regard. She's going to do her job, which is completely irrelevant to the team. Like, the team's going to let her set up ganks. She's going to be looking to basically be a mobile ward. That's something you can look to do with a support when the opponent lacks disables. You can kind of just play their side of the map, and since they're predominantly slows, since a hero like Wind Ranger can just run away, the mobile ward factor will be a huge deal for the Vision. So they've got the Hawk, they've got the Spirits, they've got Wind Ranger to scout out. I do like what Virtus.pro's doing here, but I have said Drow's one of the scariest carries right now. I'm worried about this Beastmaster's laning stage because of the Undying Drow.
That was actually exactly what I was going to ask, and I kind of overheard the conversation that you were having this morning. I wasn't actually in it, but you were basically singing the praises of Drow, saying it is like the hero to look at right now.
Drow Ranger is the hero that, even though you played so many times against it, you still don't expect this amount of damage coming out in a short period of time. And when you're sieging the tier 3 towers, if she's in a bad spot, like if you're losing the game with the Drow Ranger, just defending a tier 3 tower could make a whole lot of difference. And they don't have the best heroes to just get on top of the Drow Ranger here. Like, they don't have anyone to, just jump in, something like a Slark, PA. They might shift things around, so I just want to see what Nigma thinks it's going to be their last hero. Which position is it going to be?
I have a feeling Virtus.pro is going to pick like Void Spirit here. It's the #1 contender for me. They banned out the Prophet, which would have been great. I played against no one's Prophet. I just want to say right now, that guy freaking carried the shit out of that game. I was like, holy crap, I didn't check ranks prior to the game, and I'm like, who is this freaking Prophet? He's ranked 3. I'm like, oh, okay. He's insane. And I think they're pretty much putting their entire plan is... It has an idea to it, right? They're going to split the map. They're very mobile. They can get all of their heroes to the same place at once. But now they need, like, the hero that ties it all together. They don't have the win condition yet for Virtus.pro. So Nature's Prophet would have done fine with that. Now that I think about it, Void Spirit might not be that great. Maybe they do need a more carry-esque mid. Is there a carry-esque mid that goes on Drow? That's the question.
Ember is gone.
Yeah, Ember's gone.
That's a good ban. I mean, I'm still fine with the... I don't know. If they want to get something like more tower damage, what do you get? Do you just get something like a Dragon Knight?
Yeah, I'm not a fan of Dragon Knight into Undying
well, Tiny's
Phoenix.
still in the pool. Like, he is kind of a...
I think it has to be a mobile hero, though. Really? An Undying Phoenix, huh? Okay.
It's just a hero
like
that
Tiny here.
Closes the gap, bursts him down. He can toss Clockwork out of the cogs. Like, Tiny IO as a combo, it's still insanely strong.
I want to learn from this game, because this game, now that I really feel like I've seen the whole draft play out, I have played Tiny into this kind of thing, and if he blinks in and doesn't immediately kill somebody, like, imagine as a Tiny, you're going to be inside of a tombstone, there's going to be Clockwork, there's going to be a Drow hitting you, you're not moving. Like, you're literally not going to
slow. Like,
you're not going to move.
It's a sick lineup from Nigma. You have ton of slow. You have good ways of protecting the egg and the tombstone. I think level 10 talent on Drow Ranger, Gust 50% blind slow. You should definitely go for it.
From my understanding of these lineups, I think Team Nigma is very heavily favored here, but that's under the idea that this Beastmaster should struggle against an Undying Drow lane. So if they manage to swap up the lanes a little bit to make his game a bit better, that may change the course of this game. But I don't think that's possible. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. He can't go mid against Viper. Aggro tri-lane with Wisp sounds kind of bad. So I will definitely be much more confident in this Nigma prediction, and if I'm wrong, I will certainly learn something about Tiny in this game, because it seems like a pretty ass Tiny game.
I mean, they have ways of protecting the Tiny once he goes in, but it's a lot of AoE slow and a lot of AoE control from Team Nigma. Like, just Drow Ranger with the multi-shot, Viper, you're not going to be able to move, and these heroes like need to reset, go in and out a couple
that's what
of
Tiny
times
struggles with
the
is likes to
Baron
blink
and
combo,
IO.
leave.
Odds are in favor of them. Analysts in favor as well. When we were looking at the draft, one of the things that you said was we need to see a win condition. We ended up getting Tiny. Whether or not that's going to bear fruit, we're about to find out as we throw it over to the casters and see game number 2.
Thank you very much, Rich. Yes, looking forward to this one, as we'll see if Nigma can sort of swing back after that rough game 1 that they had against VP. VP coming in at a very fast pace in the first game. The same sort of thing looks to be what they're aiming for here in game 2 again, VP. Is it going to work, though?
It looks like they have to play fast. I don't know. This one, I'm feeling pretty concerned for them. I feel like Nigma this time has a really scary draft that also can fight as a team. I feel like that's what they were really lacking in the last game, is actually just team fight rather than just single target. This time, they've got a plethora of AoE, just great, better lanes overall too, and they actually have proper win conditions. Like, this Drow can actually get very strong this game. I don't know. Nigma's... Who's their carry? On the side of VP, who's their carry, right? Is it an IO carry?
We're going to find out. Is it IO carry? Is it Abaddon carry? Is it Tiny safe lane?
I'm not sure. I don't know. It looks weird, and it looks really tough to execute versus this. Like, Tiny last pick, I've seen this so many times before, like these teams, and we talked about it at TI with a bunch of the players too. Playing into Phoenix alone is tough as a Tiny. It's just going to be a hard game. You don't kill somebody, you're stuck in the egg, exactly what you're saying. Throwing Undying too. It doesn't look like this end-all be-all. So I think they have to just get ahead and stay very ahead on the side of VP and just kind of snowball and just be able to kill heroes over and over again. Otherwise, I feel like just the Nigma draft, just from the nature of their draft, is just going to kick together, and their team fight is going to be way stronger than what VP has.
So, as we can see, it is indeed going to be ILTW playing the carry IO. No one is still going to take the Tiny mid against that Viper. We'll see how that goes, as that could definitely be a lane where WeHar is able to start bullying the Tiny pretty heavily as the levels come in.
Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna have to see how they do. I feel like if they don't come out ahead in the lanes and they have if they start falling behind at all in the early mid game, I feel like there's no way they ever take a fight. So, like I said, I think they have to just really press the issue forward here, be super aggressive, get a lead, and don't lose your lanes. I mean, it's tough. It's gonna be a hard one, but they do have some good heroes in lane in particular to be able to do that. Side's ready. Pre-skilling, he has the win run, he uses it immediately right away.
The battle begins.
And Nigma, they'll bring 3 heroes up top to try to secure the rune. Won't get it though. Rezo does get that one. Solo. He's actually doing some work up here.
It's trading quite nicely here into Miracle and GH. As they run down the Drow, Miracle
the shield's gonna pop actually.
Oh, it's gonna be close.
One more hit.
Can't quite get it. Unless he wants to. Oh, he's got the shield up again.
He's got a fairy fire.
He's diving with this one.
Oh, he didn't fairy fire. Okay. I think it might have actually saved him if he did use it, but the damage from the tower instantly popped the shield. He probably expected to take one more hit or something like that. So, wow, they actually get the kill.
Oh, and the aggressive tips here from VP there.
That's twice now. ILTW tipped him before last game too.
Straight from the off there. First blood, and that's it there. They're getting in.
I think WeHar's going to be tipping no one a lot this game, though. I have a feeling after this mid lane, because this does not look fun for a Tiny.
No, this is one of those lanes where you're very viable to being tilted if you're playing into the Viper.
Just a couple hits just build up from the poison attack, and you're just very slow based hero. 0 armor as well, so you take a lot of harassment from it all. His last hits, though, that's the one thing. Tiny, for the first few levels, does have a base damage advantage, especially with the tree. But like we said, it's really going to be all about those early lanes, in particular from VP, to set themselves up if they do want to have a fight. And this is a bit unique. It's a core Undying, too. Didn't get to point that one out, but yeah, Mind Control is playing Undying as a core. I think we've seen, I don't think I've seen it in official games, but I've seen players streaming it. I know Seb was playing a lot of the core Undying when it first got changed. Just the fact that you're able to actually utilize your ult a little bit better now as a core is one of the big reasons. Level 2 on RMN.
There gets the grab onto Solo with these cogs.
They have the Orb of Venom as well. Soul Rip, yeah, just crazy amount of damage.
Yeah, they've got to be careful giving away these early kills to the bottom lane of Nigma, as this clock Undying definitely feels like a lane that could snowball against these heroes.
And it's a Undying versus 2 strength heroes.
Yeah.
The IO as well as the Abaddon. Abaddon does not have fun versus Undying when he's playing versus him in lane. It's one of the, you just can't trade hits because he reduces your strength down, you don't hit him back hard enough. Same thing for IO. I mean, this is an interesting approach. Seeing how those lanes are progressing. The Tiny, he's actually doing quite well in the mid matchup. Yep.
Yeah, no one's going to be pretty happy with these.
That base damage advantage really playing in, and he's got the early bottle, so the sustain is going to be there. Yeah, he's doing good. Now, level 3 hits, though. This is where the Viper starts really able to just orb walk you and push you out a bit.
It sort of becomes impossible to approach the lane if we are able to hold it in a good place. Top lane, Rezo and Science. Fairy Fire comes out, and it will keep him alive.
All right.
As Miracle's able to get away.
They're doing great up here, though. Look at this, 9 and 7 on the Beastmaster. A couple of those are probably some board denies, but they're doing some good work up there versus the Drow to shut her down. That's what they need to come out ahead in their lanes, like we're saying. Bottom, though, is going to be really tough. This IO is not getting it any real time to last it pretty much anything, as this Undying has 9 denies, 10 denies.
Oh, yeah, Mind Control just holding the lane perfectly there.
I mean, he just steals damage from them, right? Because they're both strength heroes. Look at this IO's base, 42, because he's missing 12 strength. How do you last it?
You don't.
Solo, again, getting caught in the cogs. They have some extra heals for him. He will be okay. But yeah, this lane is going to be really tough for ILTW to keep himself getting those last hits. Just, base damage advantage, animation advantage. And as we see, Viper's starting to take over mid.
Yeah, he's starting to rack up on the denies now, being able to push no one away. Still, though, I think no one keeping his cool quite nicely in this lane.
For sure.
He's able to be in a position now as well where the wave is going to push in on him. We'll see if that does leave the opportunity for WeHa to start diving the tower, just to continue to orb walk him out of it and away from it all. There we go, as we enjoy this pause. Looks like Rezo also taking a real life pause there.
Yeah.
Not moving in any sort of capacity. As RTW, of course, pressure on him this game to perform as the carry IO. And
look at him. He's like, I'm laning versus I'm dying as IO. Oh, God, eyebrow rub.
Yeah, you don't blame him for having a headache.
No, definitely
against
not.
This.
It's going to be a really tough. I feel like it's going to have to be somebody rotating to kind of bail them out of this lane bottom. Or if they run out of mana in particular, which we are seeing. Undying's out of mana, so is Clockwork. I feel like we have to look at those couriers to ferry some extra mana region for them to keep their pressure applied. Because now is when they can start turning. This Undying's Decay is going to wear off in a second, too. So yeah, Mind Control either brings something out or he needs to go heal. Top.
So Zayat trying to get in a little aggro on his own, and Miracle and GH, you've got to be careful. When that win run comes to an end, you'll dive very quickly to these two heroes. Lots of slows and control to make sure that Miracle can keep hitting you on the way out. Do you get back in there onto GH?
Okay, there you go.
All right, Rezo just able to walk up between the two of them and kill off the Phoenix.
Yeah, Orb of Venom there actually paying off. Plus that Boar slow is enough, and now it's Shackle.
Look at the Shackles.
Look at these slows. Look at this 188 movement speed. The Boar plus the Orb of Venom. It's enough.
All right, Rezo with the double. Iron Man's going to come in with the TP rotation as he looks to try and get the trade kill onto Rezo. Rezo attempting to run away. Zayat's trying to tank some of the battery assault here, but GH swoops in. Verifies popped in the Shackle. Zayat, he catches the two of them. That's going to save Resolution. Gets the Beastmaster out of there. Nice play from Zayat.
Oh, look at all these juicy last hits that Miracle's missing, too. 2 denies likely to happen. GH will at least take one of them, but a couple creeps that he did end up missing there. Nice aggressive play. Uh-oh, no one.
See if he's going to be able to run away from this. He's not going to be able to do Mind Control. Sweeps across from the bottom lane, even allowing no one to die to the poison, making sure WeHa gets the benefit from that kill.
Caught between a rock and a hard place, right? Poor Tiny. Solo with ILTW. Dude, these Orb of Venoms in the side lanes. Look at Mind Control, too. He's just like, okay, reapply the slow. Oh, didn't hit him with the reapply slow. And can he actually catch up to him now? He cannot. Ooh, he gets a hit, but nope. Some trades, though, pushing him away. Orb of Venom. Look at it go. And look at no one go, too. Just, I mean, he started out great, like we said, but those levels for the Viper, now level 6.
He's not getting totally bullied away from the lane, though. Sure, he did die that once, but he's still able to get creeps mid.
Yeah.
Which is, I mean, coming into this matchup, you know it's going to be very tough as a Tiny.
Yep. Oh, mind control. Whoa. Nice trade going on there. He's 16 decay stacks. With this bottle, though, the sustain is there for this IO to now finally start recovering his lane. They can push them away. They can actually out-sustain the Undying plus the Clockwork now down here. So mind control will be pushed away, and ILTW, he will be happy. He'll be able to breathe and stop rubbing his eyebrows as he's up to all the way 27 last hits. He's recovered really nice in these last few moments.
And top lane.
The Boars, he'll get one of them.
And Rezo hitting the 5, wants to... Yeah, 6 is about to be there for Miracle, so he's going to be punching back very hard.
Early move. I think this is dictating how much he's struggling in the mid. He wants to try to make an aggressive move. The mini shackle, is it enough?
As TP's coming over, though, this could be punished. Miracle, he's going to be fine here as Weehaw comes in with a TP rotation in reaction.
Uh-oh.
And we're starting to see already these moves that VP are going to try and make are going to be responded to pretty easily from Nigma
and
with the heroes they have.
It feels forced, right? Because he just has nowhere to go. His mid lane is impossible for him to do anything. So he's like, all right, maybe I can make an aggressive move top. Weehaw is the easiest TP in the world up there. Now no one, level 5 versus a near level 8 Viper. And we were talking about how their laning phase, I mean, for me, it feels like it has to go pretty well for them. And that's going to slow them down a lot. A Tiny that gets shut down this much. He's bottom 4 net worth. He's below his Abaddon already at this point. And look, he feels like he just has to constantly making some moves.
Yeah, he's got to go all in. It's the only way. But yeah, this game is definitely a bit of a minefield for the Tiny.
Yeah, and it's not, like it was a last pick Tiny, like we said.
Yeah,
the draft panel
they wanted to play it here.
They wanted to play it, but it's not an easy game for him to really do a whole lot here. Maybe he can get a kill. Nope, GH has Raindrop and Stick. So now this Viper really will start catapulting ahead, level 8, like we said, versus level 5 Tiny. It's going to be a lot up to those other cores. The IO and the Beastmaster have to kind of carry this one now as... I mean, your mid Tiny is just, he's out of it for a while.
It's rough. It's definitely rough. And which core are you looking towards? I mean, as we say, Tiny, it's a tough game to just play the hero conceptually against the powers that Nigma have. What hero on VP's lineup can have a good game this match?
Oh, yeah, I mean, I'm not too sure, honestly. I feel like it's just tough. Maybe the IO, depending on how this mid game goes, but I'm seeing them kind of struggle once the team fights start going. He does finally get the kill, though. He's very persistent.
I mean, he has to be, right? You're not sitting mid. You're not farming against this Viper. He's got to make plays, no one, and he does find that opportunity to do so there.
Finally does get himself a kill, moves himself up, but he's not farming. He's going to have a tough one. Mind control, TPing in to defend the tower. He's got the slow on Rezo. But Rezo will be able to get out.
Oh, mid lane, no one.
Weehaw.
Getting some setup onto Weehaw. Weehaw, can he escape this? The sun rate's out. He's going to be saved. Solo, and no one will go down. And that is the worry for VP. There's the big potential for that to happen time and time again now. Attempted plays from Solo and no one going in and just not being able to sustain through this turnaround damage that Nigma have. They can just sit back. The combination, this early magical just damage over time between the heroes like the Viper and the Phoenix, it just shreds through these heroes trying to make moves.
Oh, maybe they can find mind control with the relocate. This should be able to be a kill that they can find here finally too. So I think this kind of shows what they have to do. It's all about outnumbering. I feel like if they're ever on like even number footing, it's going to be super hard for them to actually take any fight. Like we mentioned, great team fight lineup, and now with the lanes the way they went, Nigma's going to have a pretty big advantage coming out of this one. But I think if they can do that, they can start to trickle back in this one. They just have to keep playing around the Tiny, playing around these relocates and roars. But it's still going to be very hard as everyone's buying raindrops. You know, they're all just getting tanked up for Nigma, so they don't die to the combo. They're going to try to go for that route.
Now, this will be interesting to see what VP do to play on from this position. As it's not an easy one.
Nope. And
this
Solo.
Game, definitely a challenge for VP here. But from the draft, it was a self-inflicted challenge.
It was.
They didn't make this easy for themselves with the picks.
Nope.
So maybe just wanting to step up the difficulty here for game 2.
I mean, it really does seem like that. This the Tiny mid, the panel sided immediately. And then they get picked with the Viper mid. He's not even level 7 yet at this near 11-minute mark. He's really struggling. And we are seeing the IO still going for the Dominator, although it's an item that's gotten reworked recently. Last night, in fact.
It's down bottom. Zayas able to find the Shackle connection. Rezo's coming over as well. Does have the Roar.
They've got good numbers here.
They're going to be able to win this one. As Weehaw and RMN cannot deal with this 4-on-2. I mean, as you say, VP, they're finding these opportunities to come in and outnumber Nigma.
Yep. Have to play aggressive, especially when Nigma is starting to overstep their bounds there. Miracle's still free farming. Same thing up at top. We see My Control is pushing it, but at least they get something on the board there. And they will have Relocate back available now too, so if he does want to look for plays with the Tiny, again, all about the numbers, if they can look to catch people off guard.
And straight away, smoke from VP. They've got to try and ramp up this speed. They're playing with Mind Control. He's already starting to get back.
He's got max Tombstone already, so if they don't kill him right away, the fight could definitely look to be quite a disaster if those TPs do come out. But they're able to farm during the entirety. That's the one thing about it. It's like IO is like Spectre, right? You know, if we relocate, you're farming the entire time during all of this one in the jungle, and you can just join in whenever they do find an opportunity. My Control will reveal himself for a moment there. That's where no one's like, okay, let's see. Can I find something here? But yeah, TP responses are coming. Now it's going to be tough if VP does want to get aggressive here.
Yeah, as soon as the preparations start to be made.
Yeah. They have to know this preparation's coming, too. They're actually relocating in.
They want to commit for this, but as you say, Tombstone's going to be set down. Mass TP's coming in from Nigma as everybody responds to this. ILTW is even going to get back away. He's not. He's out. They'll lose Zayas as well. Solo's going for the TP away. If they got anything to counter, they do. RMN in with the hook shot. And the struggles of VP in this game certainly shown that that was such a high risk play.
And I mean, they're trying to force it, but you know, look, we're saying it, like, you know what's going to happen if you do try to force the issue there. They're just going to TP Tombstone, Egg. There's no way you can win a fight there. Even if you have numbers, it's under a tower under these two abilities that kind of counter your lineup very heavily. Immediate smoke. They want to try to catch someone who split up. No one. He's spotted. He gets slowed for a second.
Be able to hold back the three of them there with the Avalanche. That'll do it.
Okay.
Yeah. Stops them coming up to the high ground, and no one's able to live to see another day.
Can't quite get the setup there, and then immediately Mind Control. He'll park himself in front of this tower again. Tombstone should be available any moment. So again, if they do want to get aggressive and look for this tower here, which is kind of low, it's going to be risky. But it does feel like, I mean, it feels like they're feeling like they're forced the way that they're making their moves around the map too. Nigma just overall just feel like they have this much calmer posture, prepared for the fights. Now though,
okay, they get a good wraparound on bottom. No
they're
one
deep.
Comes in from the side. We are going to start turning, build the poison up onto no one, but the combo, they catch them underneath the tower.
All right. Nice move.
That's a sort of a second time on that bottom lane where RMN and have been punished for pushing out as just the two of them.
Yeah, and it's the moment that they saw the two heroes top, right? I think they saw the Undying. I think they saw the Phoenix there afterwards for a second, so they know, okay, we have numbers again. We said, all about the number game. VP playing it pretty nicely when they do see heroes split away. Nigma have to be a bit careful about those type of mistakes.
Especially, as the Viper, despite Weeha's strong start in mid, this very much is a hero, right? A few deaths and your game can come to a real slowdown as this hero.
Absolutely.
See top.
Look at this.
Trying with a bit of the bait.
He's really tanky, though.
He's incredibly tanky. Tombstone's going to be dropped down, and Mind Control is just going to start running at them. Zayas, he's out of there.
Oh, Core Undying, look at him go. He can actually hit people.
No one. He's got the backup of Solo, but you're right. Mind Control just getting some big old revenge for what they're able to do in game one. The bullied has become the bully.
I love... Undying is actually really satisfying to hear to watch now. When you can actually see him hit people with Flesh Golem, it's just like, they're full damage amp, and you're slowed to the point of 100 movement speed. Yeah, no way they can burst him. 2,000 plus HP when he gets the ulti off.
Yeah, he's having a great game. Second highest in net worth, Mind Control. And they just can't go on him.
No,
you cannot go on this Undying, in particular when he is near his tower. Even when he wasn't, I guess he was still running them down, the two of them.
I think it's just risky to make plays now without Rezo. He's having the good game on the Beastmaster. I think he's getting close to that book. I think you have to just make plays around the Beastmaster because he's going to enable your team so much with that aura, extra little bit of damage too with the drum. Yeah, they're going to be lacking some damage for sure. Like it's really just going to be keep reiterating numbers, right? Like if they see where they have a number advantage, that's when they can fight. If they're doing that at near tier 1, way too risky.
Nice little deny there from Reza.
Yep.
Able to snipe that away with the boar, I believe. Still Nigma holding this lead, 4K ahead. GH, we've seen him do it many times. Pull off those big plays with the Meteor Hammer, and he's going to be able to start doing that again this game as the hammer's on its way out.
Oh, already, look at that. Just straight prioritizing to go for it. Weehaw. Bit far up again.
He is. This time he's not even got RMM with him.
They're a bit scared because the tier 1 is there, though,
yeah,
this time.
They're kind of like, is he really alone?
And they don't have theirs to TP to. They do have the IO to relocate, but yeah, too close to a tier 1 when all those ultis are available.
Yeah, didn't have the no one tiny around as well, and his burst very much crucial for getting these kills.
He's trying to finish up his blink. I think he's actually getting pretty close to it.
He should be.
He's been farming really well, or catching up really well. Like he's almost caught up to the Viper, which is pretty huge. Even though it has been Weehawk kind of giving his life away from times in bottom. But.
Yeah, been playing pretty wild on the bottom lane, which at the moment hasn't really hurt him too much. It's been working right. Space has been created for Miracle and mind control in that sense as well, as both of these cores are getting some fantastic farm.
Again in the mid lane though. He looks like he's very dead here. He does have the mech to turn it for a moment, but his team TP'd bottom already.
Bottom sides. He's trying to run from the 4 of them. Won't make it away, so Nigma finding a trade, but I mean, it is a lot of times back-to-back now that Weehar's going down. This mid tower won't fall, as they're going to be able to TP over and push VP back away from this, so the tier 1 will be a help for now. But I mean, I feel like there's got to be a point where, you know, so many deaths is a little too many on this Viper.
I guess he's just playing as, I mean, he's playing very over-aggressive. I guess he's not expecting how much damage the VP can actually deal out when he is out that far, but I guess it's really in his head too. It's all about the Miracle game, right? Yeah. That's why he went for mech. He's the supporting cast to his. Oh my! I have not seen
IOTW is farming away silently and pretty nicely.
I've not seen that pick up actually on an IO.
A bit of a different build.
It's got the orc. Okay, I mean, the silence versus Phoenix is really nice. The heavy amount of attack speed too he can benefit from.
And I think the good thing about it this game is, you know, GH is going to go for this Meteor Hammer build. So, like, what heroes are going to be able to remove the silence? Drow, obviously, with the Manta down the line, but no one else really wants to build anything to take it off them.
Yeah, I think he just wants to break the team fight, because if they can stop the egg from going off in fights, then their team fight's actually not that bad in comparison to Nigma. It's still not the same, but it's a little bit better. So, I mean, can be a cool item. I've never seen it on the IOs.
Definitely something that they had planned here, VP, and we'll see how it goes. Still yet to, we say for the most part, RTW, he's just been silently farming away. A relocate here and there, but very much been playing away from the action.
But he's doing great. Nice.
Farm is very good.
Yeah, farm is excellent, and the Roche does go down. Net worth's kind of started to even out a little bit because, like you said, ILTW is getting so much farm.
Oh, RMN steps forward. That's a quick and easy combo for VP. Bottom, relocate's coming in. They've got the setup with the Raw. Rezo just drops it onto mind control. There's the silence from ILTW. I think you've got to be a little worried here if you're Nigma. You had an excellent control at the laning stage onwards. It's starting to slip away. A few deaths here and there as VP. They're making the moves to get back into a game that is not easy to do with their draft. They, at the moment, are just starting to outmaneuver Nigma. They're getting caught off. They're back in this game. And this IO, this ILTW IO, it's got a lot of potential. These sort of relocate moves comboed with the Silence the Orchid, it's just enough, right, to amp up that burst combo from the Tiny to make sure that they have a solid shot of getting even these tankier heroes like the Undying.
Yeah, and I mean, they've really built up so much. Like, look how shut down he is now. He's actually equivalent net worth or less than the Tiny. It was kind of flickering back between the two of them there. So he's not as tanky as he once was. Now they have all these levels built up. They picked up a couple items.
He has got the Greaves on the Viper now. So.
Okay, so he's got the Dispel at least too for that Orchid, but still, I mean, he's definitely shown that he can die.
Like should be an easy catch here from RMN. Finds the setup with the Cogs.
Yep. Nigma now grouping up. This is where they're at their big strong point here. We see the IO relocate. He's trying to cut the creep wave immediately. You can tell the kind of style that they still do want to play on VP. They don't want to run into that 5-man death ball. They still want to look for those pickoffs. Will be this tier 2 dead here.
Yeah, I mean, that's one thing for sure, right? There's I mean, unless VP start to get really far ahead, a 5v5 is never going to feel good for them, right?
No, it's going to be always very difficult. Unless they can, start with a number advantage, right? That's what we keep saying, is if they can catch like the Phoenix in the back lines and then they trickle and start killing one by one, that's how their lineup kind of works.
Yeah, but a heads-up team fight
Heads-up team fight will be tough.
Yeah.
They can kill Egg, though. That is one thing. They do have Beastmaster Aura. They have IO Overcharge. They do have these elements to be able to kill. It's just when everything is together, like Tombstone, Egg, it's a lot of things they have to worry about.
Yeah, and you can really feel now Nigma with the Greaves on WeHeart. They're like, right, let's just run down lanes as 5. We're very strong still.
To stop getting picked off, right? It's the biggest thing is stop going to lanes by yourself or showing 2 heroes. Have to just play as a unit. This is now maybe where VP can look to start to find a catch here when Nigma does split away from each other, when they are looking to split up for those lanes.
Zayats with his own combo to play with too. Of course, the Shackle into Hammer.
Full aggressive build, though, for him. So who's going to build the Force Staff for them? Because I do feel like they want a Force Staff to get people in and out, away from the Egg or out of the cogs. So I guess it's just going to be a Baden who goes for that one first. Maybe they find a catch here.
I certainly will.
Trees are all gone.
They didn't get the Shackle.
But he's gonna.
Yeah, he knows that no point popping the ult.
Nope.
He'll save that for the team fight.
They find someone, though, when they do back up and split off. So they do at least find that pick off here. Their lanes are in a good spot, too.
And they've got the Force for no one delivered out, so ways to save.
I think Solo, I believe he also has it done. So I think they do have 2 Force Staffs on the side of VP to get in and out of the action. I mean, all things considered, it's less than 1k gold lead for Nigma. I feel like VP's probably pretty happy with the way all things have gone.
Well, no one in the mid might be in a bit of a rough place here as Iron Man. He's got the hook shot. Still the save from Solo, but Iron Man with a nice pushback from those cogs gets no one back into the hands of Mind Control and WeHeart. And they very quickly make work of him. They're going to come charging towards Solo, but no diving the high ground quite yet here.
Still no Force Staff on Solo. He was actually so close to having it there. If he had it, which is just a little bit of gold away, I think like 20 or so, whatever, he maybe would have been able to actually save the Tiny there. So.
And they're splitting up the lanes nicely. I mean, again, you got to keep eyes on this IO. ILTW is continually just, he's right there behind Miracle's farm. And his BKB is it's 200 gold away from being done. He's going to be incredibly strong in these fights.
Yeah, and that's a build that he wants to get involved in actual team fights, right? Because then he can actually focus fire things. Now, though, he's trying to go for a solo kill on Clock, but there's a Drow here.
He may... No, he's going to bring down Iron Man with him. No, he's not.
The Alpha Wolf, nope, and they get that kill too. Iron Man is fine with 80 HP. Huge pickup. Look how much gold they get too, because that high net worth of the IO. Miracle. And lots of space too. 40 seconds where that IO can't look for split push action.
He's running into the 4 of them. He's gone straight in here. Hook shots up. I mean, he's able to turn and toss back Mind Control. The Supernova's down. The 4 staffs. Is it actually enough to save no one? It looks like it is. No one somehow getting away from... No, he didn't. He ended up... Mind Control's able to get in reach with the final Soul Rip by the looks of it and nuked him down.
That's a quick succession of kills that...
Yeah,
especially versus a Drow lineup. Now they're going to capitalize on it. Tier 2 likely to go down. Heal up 2 with the Greaves. Oh, they were just stunning. They were keeping their footing too very well for VP, but these type of kills, they really snowball.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, it's such an easier draft for Nigma to play, even in a game that's even.
Yeah, I mean, they just keep the Drow just is able to kill those buildings super easy. Rezo now starting to get back. ILTW is relocating to split push.
Yeah, and use that final wave, and the BKB will be done.
There's no Egg, no hook shot. Tombstone's still on CD2. They're gonna back away. They don't want VP to try to catch him. That's a scary place for Nigma to get caught, because that's where you start getting tossed into the base, and people just die one by one.
I mean, they're going to try and find a catch here.
They still have the ward on the high ground, so they do see Miracle in the front.
It's not going to latch, and now the turnaround comes into play. Hookshot in from Iron Man. Is there further force to save this Wind Ranger? The multi-shot, the Rocket Flare. They'll keep him alive. Dive for it from GH, but the heals from ILTW keep Zayats protected.
They stuck together as that unit. Nigma didn't back away one by one. They waited until DP made the move. Now they TP back. Nice play by them. VP, let's see if they can actually catch anyone, though, on the retreat.
I'll take that.
It's not looking like it.
I mean, now that they know a couple of them have gone.
Oh.
And do they have... Yeah, they don't have the relocate available, so... No chance for a catch or a setup.
Nice disengaged by Nigma. The way they played down was really nice. I think they recognized, right? Just outside the base, that's where it can be scary. You can lose consecutive heroes on the chase out, but yeah. Sticking together, and we see WeHeart, like we said. He's all about, you know, buffing up Miracle this game. Greaves into Medallion, into Solar Crest, just buff up the Drow so that she can solo carry.
Yeah, and that Crimson from Mind Control is going to help out a lot against all these little right clicks from VP.
Yep, solo. Take a step up, but there's a lot of slow.
Yeah, they'll be able to deal with this about it. There's no help coming.
Uh-oh, 7k gold lead, and they get a pick off immediately. It's time to push again into the high ground. And even aggressive Tombstone up there too for vision, so they can see if any heroes do TP and where they are. Tombstone at night too. That night vision it provides, you actually see everybody inside of the base there of VP pretty far. It's like 1200 or 1800, that night vision, so.
They just can't get them off this tower.
And they see everybody. Look, Rezo constantly getting those zombies onto him. Same thing with ILTW. They're aware of the positioning.
Shackles are just not connecting. The hammer does.
Hey, he's dead on Zayas. The magic damage.
No one's able to get the toss back onto Weehart, but Weehart's forced back away and healed up by the Soul Rip. There'll be a buyback from Zayat. And they cannot stop Nigma from taking the mid racks. The melee racks gone. They'll even bring down the range racks as well before they're on their way out, as Nigma got what they came for. 10k lead up now.
Their 5-man is just way too strong. And they're just holding on now. I mean, they still have Supernova. They know they just can stick together. Wait till someone jumps out.
He's going to look for the toss back. He's able to grab Miracle. He's up into the base. Miracle's forced to the side, though. Their second force as well gets Miracle away. He's able to turn with the Gust. ILTW with the Orchids trying to finish him up with the Soul Repeal and the Sunray keep Miracle alive. Only RMN going down. They're trying to go back in. The egg down. No one is it with a huge avalanche on the four of them. Can they take the egg down in time? They're trying, but they cannot do so. The Supernova successful as GH comes out of it all.
He's burning them. He's burning them all.
That's a die back on Zayat. VP, they tried their best to kick back at Nigma, but even then, still just unable to win these fights. No one coming in with huge stuns. Nigma's just a little too far ahead.
Yeah, they get the one hero, but the whole team fights together, and we're really seeing just the power. When they're grouped up, it's just impossible. There's no way VP can take anything with just a straight-up 5v5. They have to... I mean, they have to just get... if they get the kill initially on Miracle there, perhaps, right? Because then they can start to chase forward, then they can focus fire the egg, but it took them that second rego to try to get him. Where Nigma can respond a little bit better. Yeah, 12k gold lead, not looking easier for VP as it progresses.
Yeah, it's just going to be a game where the deep tosses are going to be what's going to do it. Yeah. If there is anything here for VP, and no one did come close to making some nice plays there, but the abundance of 4 staffs
and sustain
heals.
Yeah, Soul Rip, Sunray, Greaves as well. It's just there's so many different tools that they can utilize with their 5-man. Even if Vlad's now on the Undying too, so yeah, they're all about just auras and group up and end. And they even get now the Roche is back up, perfect timing for them. I feel like VP, if they don't stop this Roche, they're just gonna get barreled down a lane and inevitably lose this one. So I feel like they might be forced to actually contest it.
Do find themselves a repair kit, so a little something that's going to help them against these pushes from Nigma.
Yeah. I mean, I don't even know how they contest it, but no, and he's chilling around the area. He knows it's going on, but...
Oh, he's in trouble. He is in a lot of trouble here. Oh, maybe Solo can save him. Solo, he can't get close enough to shield him. They're just pushing them apart. No one goes down, and Solo, he can't get out of this either. He can try and run. He's got the ult. He's got a TP, but as long as RMN can close in, they'll be able to cancel this. The space is there as well for Miracle to finish Roche, grab the Aegis. And Solo pushed out of the game here by these cogs. 70 seconds, no Abaddon. Miracle also having the completed Skadi.
Oh god, and he's playing versus a ranged carry of the IO, so Skadi just double benefit versus those ranged carries. I mean, this is just a luxury item, it feels like, as with this Aegis, with the cheese, they should be able to just group up and go. So we're seeing VP trying to split up the map here.
They're going to dive this, but look at the TPs. 4 TPs coming in reaction. Can they even kill GH?
Oh, the heals.
They can't get anywhere close to. GH is more than fine. ILTW is going to get popped. The BKB will not keep him alive against the physical and the magic immunity piercing abilities that Nigma have.
That looked like a desperate kind of play there.
I think that was the last attempt there from VP this game. The tips coming out back in response now. Nigma getting some revenge as they fire them the way of ILTW.
GH just buys a full refresher too. He's like, all right, you know what? 1 egg was enough, but now let's throw in a second one. Smoke immediately to the tower. Probably pushing the wave, go toward top. Maybe they can catch some people here too. Rezo, just be a little careful how far he steps up here as the smoke might catch them off guard. He's got a blink. Can they break it? Is there a hook shot? not gonna go for it. They're just
yeah,
it goes like through the board. What the?
Iron Man going straight for it. Rezo, can he get his way out of this? Is there anyone to help him? There is not.
And
Rezo's down.
Chip Wars.
Yeah, no buyback on him. And with this push, they can take these down very quickly. A fortification is there.
Okay.
We'll buy a bit of time. 20 seconds until ILTW's back up, but 40 seconds without Rezo.
Miracle's just so buff. Look at this. Close ground. Doesn't care.
Damn out. No one. Oh, they get the fountain toss. He's in the fountain. The force stuff gets him out. Diving in the supernova.
With the sunray.
They can't deal with it. They're burning inside of their own fountain here. GH gets them all.
And a second one.
And there they go. Ending it in style, Nigma. GG well played is called. And if we had sort of the show from VP in game 1, this was the show from Nigma in game 2.
Yeah. They definitely got picked off a couple times.